Hello, Holy Spirits. Hello, beautiful spirits. Hello, loving beings. This is Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to Hardcore Course in Miracles, which is the same as saying Hardcore Expressions of Love, Hardcore Expressions of Truth. And this is Facebook Live, and we're going to talk about your value. We're going to talk about your worth, and how you don't have to ever doubt your value and your worth, and how to get rid of every block to recognizing your value and your worth. This is the Course in Miracles. This is Earl Purdy on Facebook Live. We're going to start out with our theme song, You Are One, by Brother John Christmas. And you can get this music at www.johnchristmas.com. And let's get started, because I want to go deep with you, because I need to hear this as much as hopefully you do. Here we go.
There's a call for God, I see it everywhere. Everybody's running scared, and everything is turning upside down. But the words I hear, they keep coming through from deep inside of me and you. It's telling us that love is who I am. You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one. Yeah, yeah, we are one. Now let's come together and understand that love was born inside of everyone. He's waiting for us to choose love as ourselves. When you choose love, you know you choose me too. And everyone becomes a part of you. And then you will know that love is who I am. You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one. Yeah, yeah, we are one. Oh, we are one.
I'm Earl Purdy, Earl Raj Purdy. I want to welcome you to Hardcore Course in Miracles. We're going to talk about we're going to continue to talk about right teaching and right learning and the illusions of the ego, and what is the ego, and how is the ego defined from a Course in Miracles perspective. How do you recognize your value? How do you make sure you don't lose sight of your value and the value of others? What do I need to do to know how awesome I am? What does that take? How do I need to see things? How do I get rid of my blocks to seeing my value? We're going to talk about that. right now.
You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it. Know that we are one. Oh, 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 we are one. Yeah, yeah, we are one. Oh, oh, we are one. I am you, and you are me.
I am you and you are me. I am you and you are me. I am you and you are me. I am you and you are me. I am you and you are me. Do you know that I am you? I am you and you are me. You are me and I am you. I am you and you are me. I am you. You are me. I am you. Wow, so good to be with you, mighty companion. Welcome to A Course in Miracles. I'm Earl Purdy here on Facebook Live. And we're going to be on page 54 in the Foundation for Inner Peace version of A Course in Miracles. In the text, we're going to be on page 54. Page 54. We're going to start in, that's chapter 4, section 1, paragraph 7. Chapter 4, chapter 4, section 1, paragraph 7, which is on page 54. We're in the chapter called The Illusions of the Ego, the false ideas of the fearful, separated mind. The ego is the part of the mind that believes in separation. Your ego is the part of your mind that believes that we're separate, different, and apart from each other. The ego is the part of your mind that believes you are separate, different, and apart. It's the part of the mind that feels fear or conflict or anger or sickness or guilt. The ego is quite literally fearful, separate thinking. Do you know anybody that experiences fear? Do you know anybody that experiences the idea of being separate? That's the part of the mind that the Course in Miracles calls the ego. It's the part of the mind that believes in division and separation. Your ego, according to the Course in Miracles, is the part of your mind that believes that you are not an unlimited soul, that you are not just awareness and consciousness and love and spirit. Your ego is the part of your mind that believes you are a body. The ego is the part of your mind that believes you are just a human being that was born and lives a little while and dies. The part of you that believes that you are a victim of anyone or anything, the Course calls that part of you the ego, the part of you that believes that you are separate. That's when you hear the word ego, It's just talking about the part of you that believes in separation. The part of you with the social security number. Okay? All right? Remember only this. If you're tuning into this, this is the guideline. Remember only this. You need not believe the ideas. You need not accept the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas. What is it that you might do with some of the ideas that I'm going to share with you? You may resist some of the ideas from A Course in Miracles. Some of the ideas in the Course in Miracles may startle you. Some of the ideas in the Course in Miracles we might go, what the hell? What are you talking about? Some of the ideas in the Course in Miracles may startle you. Now, this is what you are not asked to do. This is what you are not asked to do, at least for the next hour. You are not asked to analyze A Course in Miracles. You are not asked to analyze the ideas. No one is asking you to be the judge of the ideas. So what are you being asked to do? Well, if you use the ideas, use them. The ideas will give themselves meaning to you. These ideas will start to mean something to you if you use it. And I'll be glad to startle you. I hope to startle you. You will not see that these ideas are true if you don't use them. You will not see that these ideas are true if you don't use them. Analyzing these ideas, sitting around and analyzing these ideas, fighting these ideas, resisting these ideas will not show you that these ideas are true. The Course in Miracles says that you can elect to change every thought that hurts you. Every thought that hurts you, you can change every thought that hurts you. In lesson 284 in the workbook in A Course in Miracles, the lesson is I can elect to change all thoughts that hurt. And this is what it says. This is the truth. At first, to be but said. So first you say the truth, then repeat it many times, then you accept it as partially true, then you seriously consider it more and more, and then you finally accept it. So if there's an idea that you want to accept as true, if there's anything that you want to believe, if there's anything that you hear that you really want to believe, this is the way you do it. First, you repeat it over and over and over again. Next, you accept it as partially true. Next, you consider the ideas seriously more and more, and then you finally accept the ideas as the truth. That's the process. If you want to learn something new, if you want to believe something new, if you want to believe something true, if you want to believe something new and true, it's through the repetition. That's why I call myself the divine repetition teacher, the remembering coach. I'm more interested in you remembering what A Course in Miracles is saying so that you can have happiness and peace than I'm interested in you necessarily understanding everything the Course in Miracles is saying. So on page 54, paragraph 7, and if you have your Course in Miracles book, I would encourage you, those of you who are somewhere that you can do it, I would encourage you to get your Course in Miracles book. The Hardcore Course in Miracles presentation is for people who primarily really want to learn A Course in Miracles, and they want to take advantage of my 41 years of teaching A Course in Miracles, studying A Course in Miracles, and doing the Course in Miracles full time. It's what I've been doing in the world for 40 years, trusting that if I fulfill my function, I will be provided for it with the Course in Miracles promises. So I want to fulfill my function, and I want to share with you. I want to be helpful to you. I want to save you time. So the first thing, what is the first sentence? What does the first sentence say? The first sentence says, in paragraph 7, it says, your worth is not established by teaching, and your worth is not established by learning. So learning and teaching does not establish your value. Your learning is not going to establish your worth. Your learning is not going to establish your worth. Your learning, your reading, your studying, workshops, everything else that you can possibly do is not going to establish your worth. Teaching is not going to establish your worth. Because I'm teaching, that's not going to establish my value. Teaching you is not going to establish my value. Learning is not going to establish my value. So what establishes your value? What is it that establishes your worth? Your worth is established by God. Your value is established by God. God established your value. God established your value. God established your value. Your Creator established your value. Your value was established by God. Your value is established by God. It's not established by whatever you learn, and it's not established by whatever you teach. Your value is established by love. God is love. God is love. God is love. So your value is established by love. It's through love. Love established your value. And do you know that as long as you dispute this, as long as you dispute what? As long as you dispute that your worth is established by God, as long as you dispute that your worth is not established by teaching and learning, your worth is established by your Creator. Your Creator established your value. And as long as you dispute this, everything you do is going to frighten you. Everything that you do is going to be fearful. As long as you dispute this, particularly in a situation that lends itself to the belief in superiority and inferiority. So if you're in a situation where there's the belief in inferiority or superiority, then that's going to be a frightening situation for you if you think your value is established by teaching and learning. So what is it that as a teacher, what is it that as a demonstrator, what is it that you must be? Well, if you're going to be a demonstrator of love, if you're going to be a teacher, which is a demonstrator of peace and a demonstrator of truth, because see, you are a teacher of love. You're here to demonstrate love. You're here to be a light on the planet. Let's get this straight about the real reason why you're here. You're not here for material things, even though material things are wonderful to have and you can enjoy them. That's not why you're on the planet. You're not on the planet just to seek outside yourself for things that you think is going to make you happy. The real reason why you're on the planet is to be a demonstrator of love, You're really here to be a demonstrator of peace and truth and freedom. You're here to be a demonstrator of sanity. Because the one thing that's needed in this world is somebody that got some friggin' sense, that's sane. So your job is to be sanity in this world. That's what a teacher is. Do you know that the Course in Miracles says that a teacher is a demonstrator? So as a teacher, what is it you must be? It says teachers must be patient and repeat their lessons until they are learned. So do you see now why I say I'm the divine repetition teacher? It didn't say teachers must be patient and analyze their lessons until their lessons are learned. What did it just say? You have to be patient and repeat your lessons until you learn your lessons. It's about repeating the truth over and over and over again until you learn it. And what is the truth that you need to repeat over and over again? Well, you need to repeat to yourself that your value isn't established by teaching and your value isn't established by learning. Your value was established by your Creator. You are valuable because your Creator created you. You're valuable because love created you. And as long as you dispute that, you're going to be fearful. If you're going to be a fearful person as long as you don't realize how valuable you are. And that's going to be particularly true in any situation where you believe you could be superior or you could be inferior. So you have to be patient, and you have to be patient by repeating your lessons until you learn your lessons. Now, Jesus of the Course in Miracles is saying that is saying, I am willing to do this. As a teacher, I'm willing to be patient with you all, and I'm willing to repeat the lessons over and over again until you learn your lesson. So our invisible teacher, love, is willing to teach us over and over and over and over and over and over and say the same things to us over and over and over and over and over and over until we until we learn it. And then the course says, I'm willing to do this because I have no right to set your learning limits for you. So what is it that we need to remember again? It says, again, nothing you do, think, wish, or make is necessary to establish your value. So your value, your worth, is not established by anything you do. There's nothing you're going to do that's going to make you worthy and valuable, because you're already worthy and valuable. And your worth and your value has nothing to do with what you do. Your value, your worth, doesn't have anything to do with what you think. Your value and your worth doesn't have anything to do with what you wish. Your value or worth is not established by nothing you do, nothing you think, and nothing you wish, or nothing that you make is necessary to establish your value. So let's get this straight. You're not studying this because you're trying to make yourself more valuable. The Course in Miracles is saying you were created valuable. You're already valuable. You're already worthy. And there's nothing that you do, nothing that you think, and nothing that you wish, or nothing that you make is necessary to establish your value. I think it's hilarious that people that in the world, we say stuff like, this person is worth $300 million, or this person is worth $1 billion, as if we are no more valuable than the amount of money that we have. That is the biggest crap that you ever want to tell yourself or to believe yourself. Your value doesn't have anything to do with how much money you have, your fame in the world, your specialness in the world, or what you own, or what you have, or how educated you are. Your value and nobody else's value has anything to do with anything they do, or anything you do, or anything they think, or anything you think, or anything they wish, or anything you wish, or nothing you make is necessary to establish your value. And this point is not debatable except in delusions. So the Course in Miracles is saying to us, you guys are deluded. What do you mean we're deluded, Holy Spirit, higher self? You all are deluded because you think that your value has something to do with what you teach and what you learn. You think your value has something to do with what you do. You think your value has something to do with what you think. And you think your value has something to do with what you wish. And you think your value has something to do with what you make. And that's delusional. In other words, you're crazy if you think that way. You are valuable. You were born valuable. You were created valuable. Your creator established your value. There's nothing you can do that will affect that one way or another. If you didn't do another thing, but the rest of your life would be a couch potato in your perception, you still, who you really are, would still be valuable, would still be worthy. Now, your ego is never at stake. Who you think you are, that's the ego. Who you think you are, the ego is never at stake, because God didn't create your ego. God didn't create your ego. God didn't create your self-concepts about yourself. God didn't create the image that you have of yourself. God didn't create the opinion that you have about yourself or anybody else. So what you think about yourself is never at stake. What you think about somebody else is never, it doesn't threaten who they are or affect who they really are at all. Why? Because God didn't create your ego. God didn't create the part of you that thinks it's afraid. God didn't create the part of you that thinks it's separate. God didn't create the part of you that believes it could be guilty. God didn't create the part of you that can be depressed. Love didn't create that, because love doesn't create fear. Love doesn't create a sense of worthlessness. Love doesn't create limitation. Love doesn't create lack. Love doesn't create sickness. So your ego is never at stake because God didn't create it. Your spirit is never at stake. What? Your spirit is never at stake. The reason why who you are, your true self, your spirit, the reason why it's never at stake is because God did create your spirit. God did create your spirit. Love created your spirit. Love created who you are. Love created who you are. Who you are is created by love. Who you are is created by love. Your spirit is never at stake because God created your spirit. Your creator created your spirit. Love created your spirit. You are spirit. You are spirit. You are love. You are spirit. Now, any confusion on this point is delusional. So if you are confused, if you don't realize that you are valuable, if you don't realize that you are love, if you don't realize that you are spirit, if you don't realize you are more than a body, then you are delusional. You are delusional. You're fooling yourself. If you think that you're anything other than glorious, if you believe that you're anything other than free, if you believe that you're anything other than powerful and loved, then you are delusional. You are delusional. You're fooling yourself. Your spirit is never at stake because God created your spirit. Spirit, the universe created you. So who you really are is never at stake. And if you have any confusion about this, then what's going to happen to your devotion? Let's say you're a person and you want to be devoted to God. You want to be devoted to the truth. You want to be devoted to love. Well, no form of devotion is possible as long as this delusion lasts. So what is the delusion? The delusion is, what is the delusion? The delusion is that you think something that you do, something that you think, something that you wish, and something that you make is necessary to establish your value. That's the delusion. And the Course in Miracles is saying, I want to tell you, it's not gonna be possible for you to really be devoted to God and devoted to love and devoted to your spiritual path as long as you believe that your value has anything to do with what you think, what you do, what you wish, or what you make. As long as you think that you will not be able to be truly devoted. So if you're a person that says, I really want to be devoted to God, I really want to be devoted to the truth, I really want to be devoted to my spiritual path, what is the main thing you need to remember? That your value is not established by teaching and learning, that you are valuable no matter what you do, you are valuable no matter what you think, you're valuable no matter what you wish, and you're valuable no matter what you make. You are valuable no matter what anybody else thinks about you. You are valuable no matter what anyone else thinks about you. Your value is not established by another person. Your value is not established by what another person does, by what another person thinks, by what another person wishes, or by what another person makes you out to be. Your value is established by God. Your value is established by your Creator. So nothing that you do affects your value. Nothing that you do not do affects your value. None of your mistakes affect your value. None of the great things that you do in the world affects your value. You are valuable. 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 You are worthy. You are valuable. You are worthy. You are valuable no matter what you believe about yourself, no matter how you feel about yourself, no matter how you were brought up, no matter what happened in your past, no matter how educated you are, no matter how smart you think you are, no matter how many books you think you've read or not done, you are valuable. Who you really are is valuable. Your spirit is valuable. And as long as you think anything other than that, no form of devotion is possible. So if you really want to be a person who's a truly devoted person to your spiritual path and to love and to waking up, then you got to cut that stuff out. You got to cut out thinking that your value has anything to do with how much money you have, how much education you have, what you look like, how much money you got in the bank, how many people like you, how popular you are, how successful you are in your career or not successful in your career. You have to let go of believing that any of that has anything to do with your value if you want to truly be devoted to your awakening, to love, and to truth. Okay, are we clear about that? Are we clear about that? So what is the next paragraph? The ego, the insecure person, the person that thinks they're a body, The person that thinks that they are separate tries to exploit all situations into forms of praise for itself in order to overcome its doubts. So when you're an insecure person, I don't care what situation that you're in, you're going to be trying some kind of way to get some attention, to get some praise, so that you can overcome your doubts about your worthiness. So when a person doesn't know that they are worthy, do you know that when a person does not know that they are worthy, then in any situation that they're in, they're going to try to be the center of that situation. They're going to be trying to get some kind of praise. They're going to have to constantly get a whole lot of personal attention. Why? Because they're trying to overcome their doubts about their value. They're trying to overcome their doubts about their value. And since they're trying to overcome their doubts about their value, they're going to try to exploit any situation that they're in or any relationship that they're in into some form of praise. So the more insecure that I am, every situation that I'm in, I'm going to be trying to get everybody's attention, and I'm going to be doing everything in my power to get you to praise me, to acknowledge me, to see me as important, to see me as special. Why? Because I am full of doubt about my value. I am full of doubt about my worth. And if a person is full of doubt about their worth, if they're full of doubt about their value, then they have a fearful mind. That's the ego. The ego is the fearful mind, the insecure person, the fearful person. And so an insecure person, a fearful person, is going to try to exploit any situation they're in to try to get some form of praise, to get people to really somehow or another make them feel important and make them feel really good because they're trying to overcome their doubts. Now, your ego, the insecure part of you, that part of you is going to remain doubtful as long as you believe in its existence. So the ego, the part of me that's forgotten that I'm a soul, the part of me that's forgotten that I am a spiritual being, the part of me that's forgotten that I am total love, that part of me is always going to be full of doubt. So your ego is always going to be full of doubt. There never will be a time that your ego will be without doubt. There never will be a time when the part of you that has forgotten your connection with God will not be in doubt. There will never be a time that the fearful part of you is not in doubt, because the fearful part of you is the part of you that doesn't know your value. The part of you that doesn't know your value will never be the part of you that'll make you feel confident about your value. So it is not your ego that's going to ever feel like you are worthwhile and that you are valuable. The fearful part of you is going to try to exploit every situation that it's in to try to get some kind of praise. That's why you have people thinking that they're important because of what they have, because they think their value is based on what they have, what they make, what they think, what they do. And of course, the Miracles has just told us, well, you can be rest assured, if you're one of those people, then you are going to remain doubtful as long as you believe you're one of those people. So you can't trust your ego. You can't trust your fearful self-concepts. You can't trust the part of you that thinks it's not valuable and that thinks it's not, that does not know that it's valuable. You can't trust that part of your mind called the ego. You made your ego, but you can't trust your ego. You made your self-concepts. The Course is saying you guys made your concepts of yourself, but that's your ego. But you made it, but you can't trust it. So why is it that you can't trust your ego? Why is it that you can't trust your ego? You can't trust your ego because in your right mind, you realize that your fear is not real. You recognize that your ego isn't real. You recognize that the part of you that doesn't know how wonderful you are and how beautiful you are and how innocent you are, the part of you that doesn't know that part of you. That part of you, you cannot trust that part of you. You cannot trust your fearful thoughts. You cannot trust your angry thoughts. You cannot trust your guilty thoughts. You cannot trust your attack thoughts. Don't trust your fear. You can't trust your fear. You made your fear. And in your right mind, you recognize your fear is not real. And the Course in Miracles says something that is real is something that is permanent. Something that is real is something you can always count on. It's something that will always be there. If you have a real love, you can't lose it. You cannot lose anything that is real. You cannot lose anything that comes from real love. You cannot lose anything that comes from God. You cannot lose anything that comes from the truth. If it didn't last, it wasn't real. If it didn't last, it wasn't real. If it didn't last, it was not real. If it didn't last, it's not real, because everything that's real lasts. Everything that is real is eternal. Everything that's real is permanent. Everything that's real, you can always count on. That kind of love we give each other, the Course in Miracles says that's not real love. It's specialness. When your love comes and goes and it's up and down, and in 1 minute you're so in love with the person, then 6 months later you don't even think about them. That wasn't love. That wasn't love. That was specialness. That was specialness. That was specialness. That person was special to you for a while, and you were special to them for a while, and it did not last. What you all had was what the Course in Miracles calls a special love. And a special love is an unreal love. It's a love that is based on what? An unreal love is a love that's based on what you do, what you think, what you wish, and what you make. I love you depending on what you do, what you think, what you wish, and what you've made. So the Course in Miracles says that's the ego. And when you are finally in your right mind, you realize your fears are not real. You realize your doubts are not real. That's what's going to happen when you're in your right mind. But when you're not in your right mind, you won't realize that your fear is not real. You won't realize that your insecurity is not real when you're not in your right mind. You won't realize that your jealousy is not real when you're not in your right mind. So if you don't see what I'm talking about, it's because you're not in your right mind. If you doubt the fact that you're valuable no matter what, then you're not in your right mind. If you think that your value is based on what you do, what you think, what you wish, and what you make, then you're not in your right mind. So what is the only sane solution? What is the only sane solution? What is the sane solution? Well, the sane solution is not to try to change reality. Stop trying to change reality. What is reality? Reality is love. Reality is the truth. What is the truth? The truth is that your value is not established by teaching and learning. The truth is your value is not determined by what you do, what you think, and what you make, and what you have. That's reality. That's the truth. That you're loved no matter what you do. You're loved by God no matter what you do or don't do. And if you try to change that, if you try to see yourself as not valuable, if you try to judge yourself, condemn yourself or someone else, then that's a fearful attempt. So the solution, what is the solution? The solution is to accept reality as it is. The solution is to accept the truth as it is. What is the truth? What is the truth? The truth is your value is not determined by teaching and learning. The truth is your value is not determined by what you do, what you think, what you make, and what you wish. Accept that. Because you're not going to be able to be devoted on your spiritual path unless you do accept that your value has nothing to do with what you think about yourself. You are part of reality. You are part of reality. You are part of love. You are part of the truth. That's what you are a part of. And the truth stands unchanged beyond the reach of your opinions and your beliefs, which is your ego. Okay? So the truth that I'm talking about, that you are valuable, that you are loved no matter what, well, that's the truth no matter what your ego thinks about you, which is the same as saying that's the truth no matter what you think about you. No matter what you think about you, reality, which is that you are valuable, which is that you are valuable. Reality is that you are worthy. You are worthy no matter what you think, because your ego is nothing but your thoughts about yourself. Your ego is nothing but the conversation that you're having with yourself in your own mind. Your ego is nothing but that voice in your head that's telling you things all day long about what's happening that doesn't make you feel good. So whenever you're listening to your ego, it doesn't make you feel good. It makes you feel uneasy. It makes you feel afraid. That's how you know when you're listening to the wrong voice. When you're listening to the wrong voice, you believe that your value is determined by teaching and learning. When you listen to the wrong voice, you're going to believe that your value has something to do with what you do, what you think, what you make, and what you wish. Okay? But the truth about you, the Course says, you are part of reality, which stands unchanged beyond the reach of your ego, but within the easy reach of your spirit. When you are afraid, what do? Whenever you are afraid, what is the Course in Miracles telling you to do? What is it about to tell you to do? Listen, 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 listen. When you are afraid, be still. When you're angry, be still. When you feel depressed, be still. Be quiet. Cool out. Chill. Be still when you're afraid. When you're afraid, take a breath. When you are afraid, be still and know that God is real. When you are afraid, know that God is real. 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 Love is real. Love is real. Love is real. Love is real. When I'm afraid, I need to be still, and I need to know that God is real. My Creator is real. You didn't create yourself. 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 And if you didn't create yourself, could that mean that you have a creator? You have a creator. You have a creator. You have a creator. Something created you. Something created you. And whatever created you, that's what established your value. So your value was established by your creator. Your value is not established by you, and nobody else's value is established by you. Nobody else's value is established by you. You are not the determiner of anybody else's value either. So it really doesn't matter what you think about anybody else. Do you know that it really doesn't matter what you think about anybody else? That you saying somebody is valuable or me saying somebody is valuable has nothing to do with their value. You are not the one that determines anybody else's value. I am not the one that determines anybody else's value, and nobody else determines your value. Nobody else determines your value. Nobody else can determine your value. You can't even determine your value. There's nothing you're going to learn. There's nothing you're going to teach. There's nothing you're going to do that determines your value, because you are worthy. You are worthy because you were created by God. You are worthy because love created you, and that is the truth. And you'll never be devoted to your spiritual path as long as you doubt that. You're going to be afraid as long as you doubt that. So the Course says, when you are afraid, be still and know that God is real, and that you are God's beloved Son in whom God is well pleased. You are God's beloved creation in whom God is well pleased. Those are the two things you need to remember whenever you become afraid. What are the two things that you need to remember whenever you become afraid, upset, and doubtful? The first thing you need to do is shut up and be quiet. Be quiet. Be quiet. The more angry and upset you are, the more you need to zip it. You need to be quiet. You need to be still. You need to be still and know that God is real. Be still and know that love is real. That's number one. First you be still, then you remind yourself that God is real, and then remind yourself that you are beloved, that your Creator loves you. God loves you. That which created you loves you. And that which created you is pleased with you. Someone that loves you, that's someone who's pleased with you. Someone who loves you is someone who's pleased with you. Someone who loves you is someone that knows that love is real, and that the love they have for you is real, and the love you have for yourself is real. Someone who is a conscious being, when they find themselves getting upset and getting troubled and getting mad, they are aware enough to know that they need to be still, know that God is real, and know that God is pleased with them, that your Creator is pleased with you. Your Creator is pleased with you. You may not be pleased with you, but that doesn't matter, because what you think about yourself doesn't have anything to do with your value. Your value is established by God. So therefore, don't sweat it. So you have a bad day that you have a lot of negative thoughts and you're telling yourself things about you that's not very loving. Big deal. It still doesn't change your value. It still doesn't change your value. Criticizing yourself does not change your value. Not loving yourself does not change your value. Feeling like you are not good enough does not change your value. So don't let your ego dispute this. Don't let any part of your mind dispute your value. Don't let any part of your mind tell you that your value is based on what you do, what you think, what you wish, or what you make. Because the ego really can't know what's as far beyond its reach as you are. Your fearful, insecure mind, the part of your mind that fears and thinks it's separate, that part of you, it cannot have any effect on what you really are. You are the child, the extension, the expression, the creation of love. You are the creation of God. You are totally valuable, and nothing you do, make, or think can change that. And the part of you that doubts that, called the ego, it's the part of you that doesn't believe what I'm saying. The part of you that's doubting what I'm saying, that's your ego. That is the ego. The ego is the part of you that says, oh, I'm not really that valuable. What are you talking about? You don't know what I've done. You don't know what I've done in the past. I'm on a job I don't love. I don't like the way my body looks. I don't think my bank account is what it should be. I don't think I have the friends that I should have. I don't think I have the love of my friends and my relatives. And I don't think I get the specialness and the attention that I need. That part of you will never know your value. That part of you will always have doubt about your value. You just will be clear about that. That insecure part is not what we're trying to reach. Your fearful mind is not what we are focused on. It's going to always be that way. But there's another part of you. There's another part of you. There's another mind in you. There's another mind in you. There's another part of you. There's another part of you. There's another part of you. There's another you. There's another you. There's another you. There's another you. And that you is the you that we're talking to. That's the you that's capable of knowing and remembering your value. So what is the next big point that the Course in Miracles says in the very next sentence in chapter 4, section 1, paragraph 9, in the Illusions of the Ego, chapter 4 of the Course? What is it that the first line in that paragraph says? It says, God is not the author of fear. God is not the one that's making you afraid. God does not create your fear. Love is not the author of fear. Love doesn't bring fear. If love does not make fear, there's no such thing as I love you and I'm afraid of you. I love you and I'm afraid of you. I love you and I'm afraid of you all the time. Love does not author fear. Love does not make fear or create fear. You are the author of fear. You're the one that's making up all your fear. You're the one that's authoring all your fear. You're the one that's making all of your fear. You're making yourself afraid. You're making yourself afraid. You're making yourself afraid. You're making yourself angry. You're making yourself believe that you're not enough. You're making yourself feel poor. You are the author of your fear. God isn't the author of your fear. Nobody else can make you afraid. You have to choose for fear yourself. So you've chosen to create unlike God. The Course says you have chosen to create unlike love. And so you have made fear for yourself. So where does fear come from? You make it. You make fear for yourself. You make fear for yourself. A person makes fear for themselves. A person makes themselves afraid because they've chosen to create differently from love. I choose to be something other than love. I choose to focus on something other than love. Then I make fear for myself. So how does a person make fear for themselves? They choose to create or extend something beside peace, something beside love, something beside joy. So what do you do when you become afraid? Well, be still and know that God is real and know that you are the child of God who is beloved and who God is very pleased with. God is very pleased with you. Your Creator is very pleased with you. Your Creator is very pleased with you, who you are. I'm not talking about your ego. I'm talking about you. They are not the same thing. Now, why is it that a person is not at peace? Well, it's in the next sentence. You are not at peace because you are not fulfilling your function. You're not at peace because you're not doing what you were meant to do. You're not doing what you were created to do. If you are feeling upset, if you're feeling unhappy, if you're feeling like you're in conflict, if you're feeling dissatisfied, you're not fulfilling your function. You're not fulfilling your function. God gave you a very lofty function that you're not meeting. Your Creator gave you a very high function that you're not meeting, and that's why a person is not at peace. People who are not at peace, they don't know that they're not at peace because they're not fulfilling their function. They don't realize that their Creator gave them a very lofty function that they're not meeting, that they have chosen to be afraid instead of meeting their function. Your ego has chosen to be afraid instead of meeting it. So what does that mean? Well, it means that when you wake up to who you really are, you won't be able to understand you not fulfilling your function. You won't be able to understand this because it's incredible. It's incredible that you are not fulfilling your function, that you are choosing to be afraid, that you think your value has something to do with what you do, what you think, and what you wish and what you make. The Course says when you awaken, you will be able to understand this because it's incredible. So don't believe the incredible now. What do you mean? Don't believe that your value has anything to do with what you do, what you think, and what you wish and what you make. Don't believe that God is the creator of your fear. Don't believe that there's anything that's keeping you from being happy other than you're not fulfilling your function. And fulfilling your function, what does that mean? You are here to be a messenger. You're here to be a demonstration of love. You're here to be a demonstration of the truth. You're here to be a demonstration of sanity by remembering who you really are. And who you really are is an unlimited spiritual being, a soul that is beyond the body, that is now expressing yourself through the body. The body is your communication device. The body is the way that you reach and communicate to everybody around you. And you're supposed to be communicating messages of truth, messages of love, and messages of sanity. So don't believe the incredible that the Course, that the world is trying to teach you, that somehow your value is dependent on what you do, what you wish, what you think, and what you make. Because any attempt to increase the believableness of the ego, you're postponing the inevitable happiness that you could have. Every minute that you spend thinking that you're a victim of the world you see, or believing that you're guilty or sinful or not enough, that is actually postponing the inevitable. And what is the inevitable? The word inevitable means no matter what you do, no matter how you act, no matter what you believe, God's will for you is perfect happiness. So therefore, you're going to end up in a happy, loving, peaceful state, no matter what you do and no matter what you don't do. So inevitable is a frightening word to a fearful mind. But that inevitable is a joyous word to the spirit. Like when I told you that you're going to be loved and that you're valuable and that you're going to be happy, and no matter what, in the end, it's going to turn out all right for you, your spirit will feel great about hearing that. The part of you that doesn't believe you deserve it, it's not going to like what I'm saying. It's going to doubt it. But God is inevitable. Love is inevitable. God is inevitable. Love is inevitable. You're going to have real love. You're going to experience real peace. You're going to experience real security. You're going to experience real abundance. You're going to experience real joining and real sanity. You're going to experience God. God is inevitable. You cannot avoid God any more than God can avoid you. You cannot avoid love. You cannot avoid love any more than love can avoid you. You cannot avoid love. If it's love, you can't avoid it. If it's real love, you can't avoid it. And real love cannot avoid you. Do you know that real love is not going to leave you out? Real love is going to always include you. When you're in a situation or circumstance or a relationship that's based on real love, you can't avoid it, and it can't avoid you. So I'm going to do a real quick recap of what we have just said, because we've already been told that if you want to accept what I just heard, you want to accept what you were just told about your value and your worthiness, then it needs to be repeated, remembered, and repeated, and remembered, and repeated over and over and over again. I'm Earl Purdy. I'm a full-time teacher of A Course in Miracles. If you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, then go to my website, www.earlpurdy.com. Purdy, P-U-R-D-Y. You can also use Venmo, the Cash App, Zelle, and you can also use PayPal. All you need is my email address. And my email address is earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm available for one-on-one counseling, coaching, and advising. So, if you would like to have a one-on-one where I work with you personally to get you past any blocks, anything that's keeping you from having peace in your life right now, I call that a clarity session. I've also been and am an astrologer and a numerologist for those who are open to me also giving you an interpretation of your chart to also help you utilize the principles that you're reading and hearing right now. I'm available. I'm available for clarity sessions. I'm also available for astrological and numerological interpretations coming from Spirit. The Course in Miracles teaches over and over again that whatever you've made, whatever your gifts are, whatever your talents are, Holy Spirit, higher power can use it to your advantage. So I'm not going to stop. I love how I'm not going to stop doing the things that I love. The Course in Miracles says, Earl, I'm going to take every skill that you have and I'm going to use it for the good of all. That's called a clarity session. Go to my website, earlpurdy.com. You can get all the details and you can self-book a session with me right from my website. On Sundays at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, on Facebook Live, the Earl Purdy page, I do another Course in Miracles presentation, and it's done before a live audience, and you're welcome if you're in Denver to come check it out. But I also still have a Facebook Live broadcast. That's Sunday at 1 p.m. Mountain Time, A Course in Miracles. Thursdays, which is this class, is Hardcore Course in Miracles, where I'm really trying to take my 41 years of teaching and learning to show you how to read this material and use this material in a way that it doesn't seem so dense or so hard for you to hear. Because the truth is, everything that I've said is very, very simple. Let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay, paragraph 7. Okay, what does it say? It says, your value is not established by teaching, your value is not established by learning, your value is established by God. And as long as you dispute that your value has already been established by your Creator, then you're going to be afraid. You're going to be afraid, particularly in any situation that has anything to do with superiority or inferiority. Teachers have to be patient. If you're going to be a teacher, you've got to be patient. And you have to repeat your lessons until they are learned. So if I'm going to demonstrate love, then I'm going to have to keep on trying to demonstrate love until I learn, until I learn love, and until the other person also becomes open to love. If I'm going to be a teacher, then I'm not going to set your learning limits. I'm not going to say what you can learn and what you can't learn. I'm going to keep on teaching the Course in Miracles over and over and over again. Nothing that you think, nothing that you do, nothing that you wish is necessary to establish your value. So let that go, okay? You'll never make enough money to establish your value because you're valuable whether you have money or not. And if you do have a lot of money, great, that's cool too, but it still would have nothing to do with your value. Whatever you make has nothing to do with your value. And if somebody only wants to love you based on what you have made or what you've done, then you know that's a person that's not really real anyway, and that love isn't real. So if you want to debate with me about this, then you are delusional. You're delusional. Now, your ego is never at stake because God didn't create your ego. Your spirit is never at stake because God did create your spirit. God did create who you really are. And if you have any confusion about this, then you're being delusional again, and you'll never be able to be fully devoted as long as you think your spirit is at stake. Your spirit is not at stake. Who you really are, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, it's never at stake. Now, when you're insecure and fearful, the ego tries to exploit any situation into forms of praise for itself, because an insecure mind, a fearful mind, is a mind that is full of doubts. And so it tries to get everybody to make it feel good and make it feel important and to praise it because it's so full of doubt. You can't trust your ego. You can't trust your fear. You can't trust your guilt. You can't trust your fear. You can't trust what the world has been teaching you. You can't trust your guilt. You can't trust your fear. You can't trust what the world is teaching you. Because in your right mind, you know that nothing the world is teaching you is real. In your right mind, you know you're not guilty. In your right mind, you know you're innocent. So what is the sane solution? The sane solution is for you not to try to change this truth, this reality that I'm giving you. Because if you try to change the idea that you are valuable, if you try to change the idea that you are worthy, then you're going to feel afraid. You're going to feel insecure. You're going to feel like you're not enough if you try to change what I'm telling you right now. So what do you do when you're afraid? What do you do? Yeah, the ego is full of guilt. Yeah. And when you're afraid, what should you do when you're upset? What should you do when you're afraid? When you're afraid, when you're upset, be still, be still, be still, be still, be still and know that God is real and you are God's beloved son. Be still and know that God is real and you are God's beloved child. Know that God is real. Be still and know that God is real and you are God's beloved child in whom God is well pleased. Don't let your ego dispute what I'm saying. Don't let your old conditioning and your old programming dispute what I'm saying. Because your ego, your idea of yourself, your self-concept is not good enough. What you think about yourself is not good enough. I don't care how high you think of yourself. Your value is much greater than anything that you can imagine. You could think as high of yourself. You could think as highly of yourself. You could think real highly of yourself, and it still won't be enough because you are far valuable than you can come up with. You are more valuable than you could ever imagine. Mighty companion, that is the truth. That is the truth. That is the truth. Don't believe the incredible. God is not the maker of your fear. And if you're unhappy right now, it's because you're not fulfilling your function. God gave you a very lofty function, the function of being the truth, being love. Then there's a part of you that may have chosen to be afraid of your function. But when you wake up, you're going to think it's incredible that you didn't see your beauty. When you wake up, you're going to think it's incredible that you weren't excited about yourself and that you would think it's incredible that you didn't love yourself. Don't believe the incredible now. It's incredible that you could believe that you are not valuable. It's incredible that you could believe that you are not powerful. It is incredible that you could believe that you are not worthy. It's incredible that you could believe that you are not free. That is incredible. Don't believe the incredible now. God is inevitable. Love is inevitable. Your happiness is inevitable. God is inevitable. Love is inevitable. You are destined to experience real love. You are destined to experience a powerful, permanent love. You cannot avoid God any more than God can avoid you. You can't avoid love any more than love can avoid you. You cannot avoid happiness any more than happiness can avoid you. Yes, I appreciate you so much. Listen to this at least 4 times. Remember, it's about repeating it and hearing it and repeating it. And then you're going to see miracles in your life. Do you want to see miracles in your life? Then don't be limited by your beliefs of what you think is possible. Things are possible beyond what you can believe. God is inevitable. Love is inevitable. You are not alone. You are not alone. No matter what you think about yourself, no matter what you think about yourself, you are valuable. You are valuable. And when you're in a real relationship, you're in a relationship with somebody that's always reminding you that your value is real and that your value is there no matter what you think about yourself. That's how you know real love is there. I love you. I appreciate you. And mighty companions, may the course be with you. Listen to this at least 4 times. Please share this video, share this video, share this video. Did I say share this video? Yes, please share this video. I don't know about you, but I needed to hear this because it feels good. That's how I know it must be the truth, because it makes me feel good on the inside. Yeah. Love you. May the course be with you. Yes.